po. Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prestaya
Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prestaya
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Dayanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Dayanya
Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gauranga Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gauranga Jaya Jaya Shri Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Shri Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaurabhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaurabhakta
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana
Hari Bol Krishna
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana
Hari Bol Krishna
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna
Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana
Hari Bol
Mohana
Krishna Hari Bol
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna
Madana Mohana
Hari Bol Krishna
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna
Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana
Madana Mohana,
Haribol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Haribol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Haribol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Hari Bol Krishna, Hari Bol Krishna, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga,
Jaya 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 Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga,
Jaya Jaya Srila
Haribol
Prabhupada,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Haribol Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada,
Haribol Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda,
Haribol Krishna,
Paramahamsa,
Haribol Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa,
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namine, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestaya Te.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namine, Radha Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prasaya.
Haribol, Krishna Haribol.
Haribol Namaste. For almost 2 weeks, we've been discussing about the practice or the process of devotional service in practice. So I'll tell you a story of Narada Muni, the cobbler, and the mystic yogi. So there's this narrative story of Narada Muni. Narada Muni is the disciple of Lord Brahma, and Narada Muni is the spiritual master of Maharaj Pariksit. And Sukadev Goswami and Maharaj Pariksit, spiritual master is Sukadev Goswami. So this story, this narrative written in the Vedas, in scripture, is about the perfection of practice of devotional service. So here, I'll read this. One of the 9 processes of devotional service is worshipping the deity. You worship the form of Krsna, who comes to this world, introduced to us by the pure loving servant of God, the spiritual master. How we can be seeing God with our eyes and understanding that the Supreme Person is the cause of all causes, and He can manifest Himself to come, to show Himself through His energies. So our practice is to be able to understand and to be achieving spontaneous, continual focus and activities that becomes our life, loving the Supreme Person. So the 9 process of devotional service, even though if we just practice one, if we sincerely apply it in our lives, then we can achieve pure love of God. So I'll tell you the story of Narada Muni, and it's connected with number 5 of the 9 process of devotional service. So I'd like to reiterate again the 9 process of devotional service. Hearing the names and glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, chanting His glories, remembering the Lord, serving the Lord's feet, worshiping the deity, offering obeisances unto the Lord, acting as the Lord's servant, making friends with the Lord, surrendering oneself fully to the Lord. So if we begin to understand that the process we engage in are activities that we do with our body, our focus, our meditation. And now we are guided by God Himself. How we can be connected with Him by this process. Because as of now, we are separated from this condition of loving remembrance with God as a person. Our meditation, our focus, our guidance has been a meditation dictated by the mind and the desire. And in ignorance, we pursue a goal that is completely not in jive or in harmony with relating our heart, the person, we, with the embrace of God, but rather through using this body, this field of activity, the living entity who's sitting in this machine, me, I am now in focus of following the dictates of the mind. And it's all about myself, longing, looking for happiness, looking for someone to love, to take shelter. Because that's the struggle here in this world. Everybody is looking for someone to love, to serve, either your child, your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your dog, your plants, your cell phone, your laptop, your computer. All of us were looking for someone to repose or direct this longing of service in our heart. So now I'll tell you these eternal activities that Narada Muni, who is not different from God, the saintly person, the empowered living entity who represents Lord Krishna and guides the living entity to be directed towards this world of pure loving devotional service. So there's this story of the cobbler. You know what's a cobbler? Someone who fixes shoes. There's this giant banyan tree in front of the temple. There's this big temple. Everybody goes there to worship. Being not so, very simple person, his job, his work is fixing shoes. So every day when he earns something, he just takes his basic needs and offer to the deity. He worshipped the deity by offering the fruits of his labor. So meaning, every day while he works, his mind is thinking of Krishna. His action is about his activities to earn for a living, and he takes what he needs and offer everything to Lord Krishna. So now us here, you may be in a position of a teacher, you may be in a position of a businessman. You ask this within yourself. You check your mind, your heart. What is the intent or what you want to achieve with what you're doing now, with your struggle? So if it's all about what you want, your will, then you must understand that it is not the right direction, because the goal of life is to do the will of God. And what is that will? It is not an imposing or force that what these so-called teachers about their relationship with God, which is based upon salvation and fear, they portray God as someone we fear, someone who's very powerful, who's gonna stamp us like an ant if you don't follow him. So the relationship is more on a distance, Even though we go to the temple, we go to the place of worship, but our heart, our whole being is always as a distance. Because we are not able to appreciate, to embrace God, His gentleness, His sweetness, because of what we have heard, and also about our consciousness. Because the main factor of engaging in activities that will purify us, so we will be in a state of meditation, wherein our heart, our whole being, is transcendental to the miseries of this world, because it's about me, the spirit soul, who is transcendental to all of this so-called shelter, enjoyment, or goal in these material worlds, which will end. It's temporary. But because I become so conditioned, my senses are so stuck, I'm so stuck in this spider web, in this ocean of misery, that I'm drowning. I cannot get out. So while I'm sitting in this body, in this machine, I work very hard. I meditate and focus, and offer my time, my energy to get something, either in relationship, but it's all about me. It's all about my selfish interest. That is not the process of devotional service. That is not the teachings of Lord Jesus Christ. So if we want to enter that word of love, that through the life's example of the saintly person, the Son of God, he's not interested. So when he was asked by his disciple, because he meditated for 40 days and 40 nights, and his followers, caring for him, brought him some food. And they said, Master, we brought you some food. And Jesus Christ told them, I have food from my Father that you do not know. What is that all about? It is a relationship in meditation that transcends all this material consideration, this material nature. It's a world of God's embrace. The Lord of love, the Father, the Supreme Controller, the Sustainer. And that is the reason when we come in contact with this process, God sees us. He comes. But the problem is, are we seeing God? Or are we seeing our Godship, our Lordship, to do our own will? By being servant of the mind and the desire that separates us from seeing God. That you can check within yourselves. Let's be real here. Let's not talk about, spiritual, transcendental, far out things that the mind cannot comprehend. It is a reality, it is an experience, a personal experience, that when you're thirsty, you drink a glass of water, your thirst will be quenched. It is not osmosis, Someone speaks there, and you imagine what is devotional service, what is relationship with God. It is not a speculative ascending method, but rather a receiving, descending method. And it's very simple. When Lord Krsna tells us, love me, surrender to me, and I'll protect you. So the question now is, if Krsna asks you a glass of water, but you're not understanding, you're thinking, he's asking a glass of water. And you said, maybe I'll give him a glass of milk with chocolate, So the process that we do and engage in purifies us. We're able to see God. How do we see God? Not with our eyes, but with our heart, with our whole being. So the spiritual master, God's representative, comes. Are we seeing him? So if we're not seeing him, it means our meditation, our focus is upon something that is not connected with the divine nature, with the will of God. That's why you are so conditioned. We're thinking, I am a woman, I am a man, I am this body. I belong to this Never Land, Kibawe, or Don Carlos, or Kiurao. But these are all temporary. All the people around you, they're just there temporary in your presence while you're in this body. So we must be very intelligent. Why will I be focusing on something that's temporary? And not only that, it's connected with the suffering of this world. This material disease of false bodily identification. It covers us because there's a force that drives us to be separated from that embrace of Lord Krsna. It is lust, it's the burning desire that we are always anxious. We're always in anxiety that we cannot get what we want. We want to have a stable refuge. But our experience is what we have seen and experienced in this temporary world. It's about accumulating money, having a house, having a family, protected by your family members. That's why when we face the problem of death, the struggle we engage in is a struggle to perpetuate the existence of this body. The first thing we think, let's go to the hospital. The doctor can save us. But don't you notice at the back of the hospital, there's a mortuary there. And the guy standing there is always waiting, Somebody dies, tells you, there's a good mortuary here that takes care of everything. When someone dies very close to you, say, no worry, no problem. This is the number. We take it from here. Yeah. We take it from here. No more problem. We bury him, then you just pay after a while. So the story goes like this. Narada Muni is traveling. While traveling, because he's the transcendental traveler, we call him Paribhajak Acharya. Just like our spiritual master, Jagad Guru Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. He is a Paramahamsa, a traveling spiritual master. And there's one thing that I like to discuss with you all. This nonsense idea that you go to a place, you get sucked in, you're spiritualized. People tell you, oh, go there. That's spiritual life. No, it's not like that. Wherever the holy names is being chanted, under the guidance of Nitai Gaur, that is where Lord Krishna, Lord Nityananda, and Lord Chaitanya is. That's why you have an experience when you gather together, you chant. The spiritual master dances with us. Not only we say, you come here, at the end of our worship, we say, all glories to the assembled by devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. It's not just us, so if we're devotees. But wherever the congregational chanting, Lord Nityananda is there. All the Vaishnavas are there partaking in the pastimes of Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya. Just like when the gopis of Vrindavan, Krishna left, their meditation, their mind is Krishna. Krishna did not leave them, but rather stayed with them. And in their meditation of remembering His eternal transcendental pastimes, they get closer and their longing becomes so enthused and strong. That is the difference with transcendental process. The more you taste it, the more you like it, the more you cling to it, that Krishna arranges it, that He leaves you, but you have this longing because your heart, your love is connected with the source of joy, the source of love, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when Narada Muni was traveling, there's this meditator. You know meditator? He's meditating in the forest, sitting down. For so long he's been there. And Narada Muni passed by. And he saw Narada Muni. Wow. Because Narada Muni is so, when you see him as described there, he has this glow, this aura of godliness. And he's very attractive. Because he's the representative of Lord Krishna, a lover of God. It's natural for the living entity, for us, to get attracted. So the yogi, the meditator, saw him. Said, my dear sir, Where are you going? Why are you here? And Narada Muni told him, I'm just passing by and I'm going to visit Lord Krishna, Lord Narayan. Wow. For years and years I've been here, lonely, very, very lonely, all alone by myself because I meditate on myself for my happiness, all alone. A sad, sad world. And now, if you're going to see Lord Narayan, can you please ask him? When can I go see him? Okay. And then Narada Muni passed by and left. And the meditator meditated again on himself. All alone, trying to configure out with his own power, with his own strength. Because he does not know the science of pure devotional service. That the holy names of God are non-different from God. He's not able to understand that when one meditates upon the sweet form of God, it gives enlightenment and happiness and bliss to the heart. He's just meditating all alone in voidness. So Narada Muni passed by, and he passed by near this temple, and then there's this cobbler, the cobbler, speaks in shoes. And there's the giant banyan tree. You know banyan tree? You have seen documentary of banyan trees in Cambodia. Yeah? You have seen this city that the giant banyan tree covers it with its roots. And you can pass by under this giant tree, You don't know where it ends. And this cobbler, who is a devotee of God, whose meditation is offering to the deity, serving by offering the fruits of his action. In meditation, day out, day in. Summer, rainy season, and been there for long. But he's very focused that whatever he does, he's offering it to Lord Krishna, to the deity. Then Narada Muni passed by, and when he saw Narada Muni, wow, saintly person, Narada Muni is able to see. And he bowed down, my dear sir, where are you going? He said, I'm going to visit Lord Narayan. Wow, his meditation, his heart, his focus. Lord Krishna, he's going to see Lord Krishna. So you ask yourselves, all of us, what is your focus? What is your meditation? It is Barbie doll, your cell phone, iPhone 12, the form of your daughter. You're trying to relate to the form and embrace that form. It will be gone 50 years from now. You don't have a cuddling baby daughter anymore. A son who's so cute in the beginning, who rolls on his shit, wee-wee on his pants, you embrace him, and when he speaks, so bright he can speak. He's an intelligent, a child, a son that only a mother can love. And you try to direct all your love. My son, you look like me, I look at your face, look at your eyes, but you're not really seeing the person. And the person seeing you is also looking, my mama, the form. He's in ignorance of his identity. And you try to feel the happiness that is longing. And you see, he also wants you because it's a world of relationship in getting something. You want to get something, happiness. Give your love. And that person gives whatever he wants to get something. But it's all deflected to the body. It's not deflected. It's deflected to the body. The living entity is not experiencing a connection with the source of joy and happiness, but rather on the temporary form. That's why after the child, he develops, a tail. He develops, fangs. He has now horns. He's an asshole. He's a jerk. And, he fights back. Love me. If I cannot get what I want, gonna take drugs, And he goes out. And the child whom you imagine to be having someone to care and love, he has become now, developed the consciousness of an animal, a pig. So when he comes to the house, he drinks, he smokes. Your nightmare now, what will you do? So that is the meditation we do here in this world. And even though we're in a situation of heavenly situation, but still you're going to experience the experience of diseases with your body. You may be in a cozy place sitting, you may be before in Thailand, Phuket, everybody sitting down, nice beach, no suffering, what they can see. Somebody standing there, drinking, this lemonade, that's what they're in meditation. They're sitting on the beach, experiencing the crispy sun touching their body, putting, what's this? The sunblock, so the skin won't burn, and pillow, and experience the pain, when you have this sunburn. It's so burning, and the skin that you take care every day, put chin sunsu and everything, you pull, you put makeup, or kaya you put this, you shave, look, and sunburn. Your foundation of your value will be pillowed. But you don't see that. You're there trying to experience the living entity sitting down, looking at the sun, under the shade, looking everywhere, experience. Then tsunami comes, boom, brings them out to the sea. They're all gone. They're all goners. So that's what will happen with all of you here, with all of us. If your meditation is about this temporary world, relatively speaking, the tsunami will be when you lose it, either in death, someone steals it, so painful. That you can assess and check. So now if you can see it, is there a way out of this mess, this jungle, this prison now? Is there a way out? Yes. Your meditation, your heart, your focus. That's why Narada Muni comes. The spiritual master comes. Krishna comes. The holy name comes. So we can be in focus with our eternality. To be embracing God with love. So, back to the point, the story. So, the cobbler is so happy to see Narada. Wow, this opportunity. He's able to see the representative of God. And his intent in his heart, wow, if you're going to, when you go to see Krishna, can you please ask him, when can I see him? When can I be with him? His heart is sheltered. Even though he's still in his body, away from the Lord, but he's with God. He can see God. He can see the devotee of God. And how does he see it? It's a relationship of friendship and love and care. Wow, the friend of Lord Krishna, Narada Muni, is very fortunate. And he sees his fortune also. He's able to see God. So now while traveling in this universe, are we able to see God with the eyes of love, with the eyes of care? Or do we see God as someone, as our adversary, that we don't want to hear anything about him because it destroys this enjoying mood of false ego, that you are not the real father of your son. You're just a surrogate, temporary father, trying to play this Lordship, my son, I'm the provider. But if you cannot provide goods for your son, for his senses, you're not a good provider. You don't have this relationship. Wow, the son will see, I don't need you. And you're feeling lacking because you're not able to protect the child. And not only that, if the child dies with disease in his hospital, you can not do anything. How can you fulfill this longing to be in harmony with the transcendental, eternal world that is inherent in us, loving service? That is the wisdom that the devotee is teaching. To free us so we can see Krsna. How do you see God? Not with your eyes. That's why when people came to meet Lord Jesus Christ, they saw Him because they're in bodily identification. But they want to be saved. What is the relationship with Jesus? Heal me. Save the dead. Give me this, give me that. We don't have food that supplant many of us. How can we live? The relationship is based upon materialism. Instead of seeing Lord Jesus Christ as spiritual doctor, they see Him as a material doctor who can heal them, who can give them wealth. So the relation is now permeated with this materialistic relationship with God in the name of pseudo-religion. That all these materialists, so-called pseudo-spiritual master are teaching is based upon salvation. It's based upon material things. And they teach God made this world for us to enjoy. But the conservative theologian will tell, no, it's sinful. On one hand, they're telling us in their teaching that God made this world for us to enjoy. Go out and multiply. And what is the thinking of so many materialists? Let's go out and have sex and have more children like animals. So it became perverted. That the reason a man and a woman meets and have a relationship is for progeny. That is the arrangement of Lord Brahma through the influence of the three modes of material nature, passion. And that is also an opportunity for the living entity to have a child. A mother can take care of a child and bring the child to be with Krsna. Instead of seeing the child as, my God, try to embrace the child, that even though the child has grown old already, 99 years old, and the mother is about, if she reaches 150, she's thinking, my son, she calls, my son, where are you? And she will never be satisfied until you, the son, enters back and goes to his womb, to her womb. That's the mother. That's materialism. That is the meditation. Always thinking, if the only way she can be satisfied, that's why the mother always not, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. But if without wisdom, the child will never experience this experience of fulfillment. It must be with transcendental wisdom about his true nature and identity. And as a mother, and as a lover, or a husband, a wife, we must have this vision and understanding. Or else, we end up driven by lust, and our meditation will be focused upon this dead world. So, the cobbler is so happy seeing Krsna, the spiritual master, Narada Muni. His meditation is about Krsna while he's there, in his body, because his work every day, day out, is a meditation. To work, use his body, and offer to Lord Krsna, back to Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna doesn't need that, but what he's experiencing is this loving surrender. That's why one of the process of devotional service is worshiping the deity. You come here, you're thinking, oh, Madana Mohana, there's the deity. But the opportunity that was given, that the devotee experienced when he met Narada Muni, you can experience that by your daily activities. You're a teacher. You must understand your true nature while guiding your student about economics. You can befriend them and teach them the value of what love is and relate to them in love. Not that Oh, the students are here again, all these rascals and punks, It's not like that. So, Narada Muni went to the spiritual world. But in a truer sense, Narada Muni is always in the spiritual world. And the cobbler is always in the spiritual world because of his activities that are transcendental. It is the chanting, it is the work, using his body to work in meditation to please Krishna. And because of his love and surrender, his sincerity, because Krishna is very sweet and gentle, and he will not force himself to you. If you make a decision, you don't want him, you just do your own will, Krishna disappears from you. So that is the point here. We don't know anymore what's happening with us because we are so much engrossed thinking, I am this body. I do my will. But you're on the dead end. You're going to hit a brick wall. It's all written on the wall. And what is that wall? You go to the cemetery. Born 1920, died 2020. It's all written on the wall. You're going to die. You're going to leave everything behind. So if your security is connected, your heart is connected with this dead world, then you're going to hit a brick wall. You're finished. You have nailed. If you are in this consciousness, no need to hammer the last nail in your coffin. Because you're already dead. No need. So what happened? Narada Muni came to see Lord Narayan. And he did his duty and everything. And then, after talking to Lord Narayan, he said, my dear Lord, I met two individuals. One is a yogi who meditates for so long. He's been meditating, trying to ascend, to reach you. And they asked me, when can they see you? And Lord Narayan said to Narada Muni, when you come back, you meet the meditator, the yogi. Tell him I'm going to see him after 1,000 lifetimes. But what is 1,000 lifetimes connected with eternality? It's just time, lifetimes. Okay, how about the cobbler? Tell him that at the finish of his body, he'll come to me. So when he came back to the world, he passed by to the meditator. You know what's the meditator doing? Still meditating, sitting in the lonely forest, all alone by himself. Trying to figure out, how come I cannot reach God? How come, why? And then he sees Narada Muni. Oh, you're here. Have you seen Lord Narayan? You went there? The tone is that a doubt. Have you seen Lord Narayan? Yes. Did you ask, when can I see him? Yeah. Before I left, I said, I told him your request. And he said, you're gonna come. You're gonna see him after 1,000 lifetimes. What? 1,000. I think you're not Narada Muni. You never saw Lord Narayan. Get out of here. I don't want to see you. You're a fake. Why? Because when we relate to God, we want condition. It's like a business deal. I'm gonna do this, Lord. I'm gonna get it. Your request is about, if I give you this, what do I get from it? It's not really love. It's not unconditional love. It's a business deal. I do something, I get something. It's not our natural nature the sweetness of spontaneously thinking of Krishna, serving Krishna. So he went away, and he came to this place where the cobbler is, working. And when the cobbler saw him, the cobbler ran, bow down, Narada Muni, offer his obeisances. He's very happy. He sees God. You were able to go to see Narayan. Did you tell him my humble request? When can I come back to him, in humility? Did you ask him? Were you able to tell him about my humble request? That my heart's desire, when can I see him? He said, Lord Narayan said, but prior to that, when he came to this meditator, after 1,000 lifetimes, if you're really Narada Muni, what is Lord Narayan doing? And Lord Narayan told Narada Muni, if you tell this meditator that he's gonna see me after 1,000 lifetimes, and if they ask, what am I doing? Tell them, I'm just sitting down, stringing an elephant into the eye of a needle. When he told that to the meditator, what if you were able to see Lord Krishna, what is he doing? Oh, he's just there, he's stringing an elephant into the eye of a needle. What? No. You're not Narayan. You never saw him. You're a fake. Get away from here. But the devotee, when he saw, wow, he came back from Krishna. Please, my Lord, my dear spiritual master, Narada Muni, my request, my heart, my prayer. But while he's in the material world, in his body, his heart is connected with Krishna in love and devotion through his activities. That's why when Narada Muni told him, Lord Narayan said that after the finish of this body, you're gonna go see him. Wow! He's so happy and chanted, Krishna, Krishna, you're very merciful, my eternal master, my eternal friend. And then, can you please tell me what he's doing? He said, he's just there, stringing an elephant into the eye of a needle. And Narada Muni is watching him, very amused, Wow, my Lord. And he begins to dance. He's so wonderful. Krishna, 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 Krishna. And he dances in ecstasy, in happiness. My dear Lord Krishna. And Narada Muni said, you believe me? You believe what I'm saying? Why not? Yeah. My dear Narada Muni, since I was years and years, I'm here. The summer passes by. The rainy season passes by. Time passes by. Years and years I've been sitting here. This giant banyan tree, it blooms. And there's fruits. And it falls down. And each of its seed, there is a giant banyan tree inside. If Lord Krishna can put this giant banyan tree in this teeny-weeny seed, stringing an elephant into the eye of a needle is insignificant. My Lord can do anything. He's so wonderful. He's all-powerful. So his meditation is about his relationship that God has his own will. He can do anything. He's omnipotent. He's all-powerful. And it's not he's relating to God as someone not all-powerful who's the source of everything, but rather the Lord of love. Someone who cares. Someone who love him, who have compassion upon him. And that is represented by the compassionate nature of the devotee of God, Narada Muni, the personification of God's love. And it's now descending, and the devotee is able to relate to that world of love. And it is happening even though Narada Muni is in the planet, the transcendental planet of Lord Narayan, Because for years and years, his heart, his life is in meditation about the eternal world of rendering loving service to the Supreme Person, and in actuality is engaging in serving the deity by offering his works and activities. So meaning, his shelter, his activities, his heart is completely dependent upon the love of the Supreme Person. He sees God. But the meditator, he did not see that. He's not able to see God's love. Because he has his desire to just go to the kingdom of God. If you go to the kingdom of God, you will not be happy there if you're not loving God. That world is the world of love, loving devotion. So you ask now yourself, ask here, what is your world? What is our world? It is a devotion that we do every day. I, me, mine. I, me, mine. The moment we wake, what can I eat? What can I do? Where will I go? Whom shall I meet? Where can I find happiness? A longing to direct shelter of happiness through this world. Then you can check if you're very close to Krishna. But if we are sincere and we are able to be humble, to appreciate that what we're longing with the wisdom that has been given to us by God through His loving servant, our Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, who is non-different from Narada Muni. That is the qualification of a spiritual master. Coming in contact with the spiritual master is coming in contact with God. Because we're able to connect our life, if we're sincere, to hearing from Him, the holy names that purifies our heart, we're able to have shelter while we're in this world, while we're in this body, and connected with that world. Everything is zero. But if you add Krishna, if you add number one to all the zeros, it has value. So that is the process we are engaging in. Just that one process of offering to the deity. So if you come to the temple, you have the opportunity now to offer to God. In the beginning, you just see a picture. But because Krishna's pleased when you follow the instruction of His loving servant, you put value. You are thankful that this person loves you. That even though you cannot see Krishna, because He loves Krishna through the sound that is coming from His heart, connects you with that love. And He tells you, offer everything to Krishna because everything belongs to Krishna. He can receive the flower you offer. He can see you bowing down. Are you really bowing down, or is it just a ritual you do? Real bowing down is, I bow down my life. I put my life in your hands. It's not anymore what the Kung Fu, the Taekwondo sparring do. They come together and they bow down. You know how do they bow down? It depends. Because if you close your eyes, you might not wake up anymore because you get hit. So there's a depends. But with God, you can do that because He loves you. He will not hurt you. And that is achieved and understood when you come in contact with someone who loves Him. He teaches you the law, the science of love. And He gives us the 9 process of devotional service. A word we should be entering. And Krishna Himself will be the one to embrace us. The question now is, are you seeing Krishna? So the cobbler is seeing Krishna because of the process of this practice of devotional service. So if every day your meditation is offering to Krishna, Krishna sees your heart. He knows your heart. You cannot trick Krishna, Just like the relationship we have with God, supposedly. When we say God, their idea of God is G-O-D. But He's a person. So the practice you do, does it enhance your relationship with God? Or you're still in this bodily identification? My God. There is only one God. God means the Supreme Person, the cause of all causes. It's not my God, your God. But because of this idea that is projected by those who do not know God. So when the devotee of God comes here, the Son of God comes here, they're not seeing God. They're saying, He's God. But if you study clearly, in clarity, the teachings of the Son of God, he's saying, I have been sent by my Father. And he tell all these guys tell him, I am the way, the light, and the truth. No one comes to the Father except through me. That's true. Because during that time, Jesus Christ is the only person who sees and loves God purely in the midst of all those barbarians. And he came there to uplift the consciousness of those individuals. And when we come in contact and hear this polluted supposedly so-called teaching that's coming from God, it pollutes our mind. Why do we love it? Why? Because we want to do our own will. If we hear the truth and see the truth, it disturbs us. It destroys this lordship mentality, this envy of trying to dominate, You try to control the spiritual master. Hey, you're not God. You don't own those things, Scriptures, eternally, everything belongs to Him. And you're trying to control and manipulate and steal and try to dominate what does not belong to you. It's sinful. There's karma. As you sow, you shall reap. But we don't take it seriously. Because we have become so callous. We have become so hard-hearted that anything that gets along the way of this lordship, this false ego, it becomes repulsive to us. We're not able to taste the sweetness of love. That is why this practice frees us from this false ego, this envy of God. Because you come to the temple, you offer to God. What is God? God doesn't need that. The flower you offer, it comes from Him. But when we become purified, we see everything in relationship with God's love upon us. He gives us His body. He takes care of this body. What do we pray always? God, give us food on the table. And when Jesus Christ was, during the time, this person, this disciple, his students, tell them, why are you so faithless? That's why when Jesus Christ, there's this story that when Jesus Christ was sleeping, taking a rest, a nap, and there's this storm in the Sea of Galilee, and all of the disciples are worried, we're gonna die. Wake up the Master. And Jesus Christ, they woke him up in his rest. And you know what happened? Jesus Christ and the storm exited. The sea became calm. You know what he said? You're all faithless, Not a blade of grass moves without the knowledge of God. You're so always worried about shelter, protection, about keeping up with your daily needs. God has already taken care of that, but we're not able to see it in thankfulness. The air that you breathe, the body that you have, who maintains it? It's not you. When you eat something, you're the ones who chop it into pieces. Try to oxidize it so the cell can have this metabolic receive of the broken down food. No, it's already God doing it. Everything is under the control of Krsna. So now the question is to become free from this false control and be under the control of the Supreme Person with love and devotion. Because that is our natural world. Just like this cobbler, his world, wow, Krishna, it's all about Krishna, so wonderful. But the other one, he cannot see God. Even God is in front of him. So, what connects us with God? It is about how we meditate, how we direct and offer our love. And that can be a connection. If our love is purified, the covering of our heart, that love that is pure, the covering, this false ego, material disease, we can see, yes, I can offer my life. And not only that, we have this humbleness. For so long in our life, we have turned away from our face from God. We're not able to see Him. But He sees us always. He's just there waiting. So the purpose of hearing about God, hearing about the personality of God, it's about the word of the relationship. How we can be embraced by Him. Just like this yogi who just meditates. But the cobbler, he engages his body, his mind, and everything to have a relationship. He is wanting a relationship, offering his life. Now we should ask ourselves, is that what we want? And we can see now what separates us from that world of unconditional loving service. That our meditation has come to perfection through understanding the prayers of Lord Chaitanya. You know the prayer of Lord Chaitanya? Oh my Lord, I have no desire to enjoy beautiful women. I have no desire to enjoy any numbers of followers of mine. I don't desire to have material wealth. I can be born. I have no desire for salvation. My only desire is to be engaged in your loving service, life after life, eternally. So look at ourselves. We can assess now. What do we want? We want followers. A surrogate father, mother. You want a follower, your child. You want to have this. You know, that's why they have this program here. They meet together. What do they call that? All the family members from different places. Reunion, all the people who hate one another, who always fight with one another about land, about wealth, who tries to outwit everyone. They come together. A reunion. No? We want followers. We want someone to follow us. But Lord Chaitanya, and not only that, you come to understand, you come to this wisdom, but you want followers also. Someone to bow down, someone to give fighting, you know. So you can enjoy when you see someone with wisdom, with love, just like Haridas Thakur. The prostitute came. She's very beautiful. Why do people go to this prostitution house where everybody is all naked girls with the skimpy bikinis dancing on the pole, showing their butt and their breasts, trying to wiggle it, because your eyes are looking at it, wow, you ogle, this is happiness. That's why when the devotee tells us, or the spiritual master comes and bringing this breast, look, hey, wake up all of you, just like in the movie, houses, everybody's there, they're already sucking with the movie. They're there already. They become the actors, not just the witness. And the spiritual master stands there, Hey, wake up. It's just a white screen, They're just actors. And they have pulled your eyes, your ears, your life, your heart. And you now enter that world. You're very sentimentalist. Wow, she's so nice, but being, you're there already, and wakes you up. Just like the spiritual master comes, Look at the breast that this, you're trying to imagine what's inside. Blood dripping, skin deep. And if he can make it, he brings this international, universal model that everybody wants to have, and there's this zipper, takes out the zipper and pulls the skin, Look what you're meditating, The person is there. It's now deflected to the body, skin deep. You try, I can pull her. I can pull her intestines, look, what's inside the intestines. And if you cut it, the small intestine, this big intestine, it stinks. That's what comes out of the butt. That's why you go shit. Dead matter. But nobody wants to hear that. Because it destroys your attitude of lordship. The lust has blinded us. Of if, for example, everybody's enjoying merrymaking, kissing and everything, and Lola comes in with everybody with torch. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art among the women, And you're there, naked. Lola naman, you're destroying our enjoying mood. But you don't want to hear that. That's why you go in darkness. So you check. You understand? So we should be with wisdom. And this process will free us. The truth will free you from eating, from tasting something that is dead. So hopefully, I've discussed and point to the importance of remembering the chanting that purifies our heart, the process of offering to Krishna what belongs to Him, have a relationship, develop a relationship. And that relationship can be understood when we experience the prayer of Lord Chaitanya. You understand? It's not something that the spiritual master tells you and tells you, love God, but God is a mystery. You cannot see Him. No way, kid. They're telling, no way you can achieve. No way you can achieve what Jesus Christ is teaching. And they tell you, Jesus is God. He's the Father. So you're saying Jesus Christ came here to lie to us and give us something, teach us something that we will not achieve. He's telling us, love the Father. Love the Father as I love the Father. But because we don't want to do it, because we have our source of, we are God. That's our consciousness. And everything that points to our enviousness, to our weird, bizarre, greedy activities that destroys the imaginary world of pain. We don't want to get out of that. That's why we don't want to hear. That's when there's chanting. Immediately the mind, don't want to hear, don't want to hear, don't want to hear. I die alone, I die alone in sadness, So, the science of pure loving devotion is the teachings of Lord Jesus Christ. That love for God is achievable. We can love the Father. Jesus Christ is not the Father. That's why you will tell, my God, your God. Who's your God? Who's your God? My laptop. My cell phone. There's only one supreme person. He's a person. He's the most lovable person. Just like you are a person. You have this ability to love and serve. But now, because of ignorance, you cannot have this experience of really very comfortable in refuge with your heart. We're not experiencing. There's nothing more to be gained. I'm sheltered, protected. Just like this cobbler who is in meditation, day out, day in, he's protected. By what? His loving relationship with God. That the doubts in the mind is transcended because he is able to see God's inconceivable potency, that God can do anything. He can do anything. Just like we can make a choice, but our choice may not be successful because we're not all-powerful. We try to play God, surrogate lover, but all your ideas cannot come to trueness or can be achieved because you're not all-powerful, you're not self-sufficient. You pray surrogate lover, love me. Can you really give love? No. Impulse bodily identification is a relationship of business. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. You kiss my ass, I kiss your ass. You know, let's have a contract. You know, marriage now have contract. If the husband is very poor, the wife will tell, oh, before we marry, you know, sign this contract that if we separate, you don't get anything from what we have. It's all what you got. That's a relationship that everybody, you know, and not only that, if you cannot perform, now the relationship is like this. In America, the Supreme Court, there is a law that if the husband cannot perform sexually, it's a ground for divorce. You understand? So meaning, if I cannot get what I want, you know, from being bang, you know, divorce. Understand? So it's a relationship of really weird relationship. So you see now, by hearing the pure transcendental relationship of the cobbler, the devotee of God, and Narada Muni's relationship with Lord Krishna, so we should assess, am I making progress to that relationship? Diba, in this world, a young man, a lover, who's the lady, you know, he makes a relationship. She send flowers, you know, if kung pobre kaayo, ultimo, send na lang text, you know, flower, 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 chocolate, 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 you know. So that is the relationship that is not really, you know, fulfilling. It's full of anxiety, expectation. The perfection is that when we are connected with this relationship of purity, we come to the point of there's nothing more to be gained. That's why Lord Chaitanya, I have no desire to enjoy beautiful women. I have no desire to have any numbers of followers of mine. I have no desire to have material wealth, to be even saved. My only desire is to be engaged in your loving service life after life. So we can check. We're not teaching here osmosis. It's a science. A certain activity leads to a certain consciousness. So definitely you're intelligent. You came here with nothing, you're going to live with nothing. Everything that's here belongs to someone. There are laws here, law of gravity. So it's, how do we know God? By God Himself revealing Himself to us. So this idea, my God, your God, is all based upon sectarianism. But we must understand that each individual who are making progress toward this path has his own relationship with God. What is the relationship of the meditator with Lord Krishna? Tell him, when can I see him? But the cobbler is in love with Krishna in meditation. And when he heard that he's given this opportunity, that after this grace, this love, that actually in a true sense, he's never separated from God. Because his love, his heart is in refuge of God's love for him. That's why he can see Krishna. He can see Narada Muni. He's in transcendental world of eternality, the pure, loving, devotional service which Lord Krishna is engaging on eternally. And that is an invitation to all of us here in this dead, miserable, empty world. Is it clear to you? So you check. You know, people tell us, you know, sir, you're always there. Yaw-yaw nang yaw-yaw. Ya la 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 la. No. Me, the first beneficiary is me, because whenever I meditate and hear the science of pure devotional service from our spiritual master, from Narada Muni, from Parampara, I begin to introspect and see how far away I am from God. Am I making progress towards Krishna? I'm the first recipient of what comes out of my mouth. I'm the first person who hears the sound. That's why it's very important to chant the glories of God, because the first recipient is you. When you say something, who hears first? You. It's all about you, but now it's about Krishna's love, embracing you. Haribol, Namaste. Haribol Krishna. Prestayate. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine, Dora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestaya